Denver 7 On Demand is brought to you by Ferguson and BAC Appliance Center, the best in bath, kitchen, and lighting for your home.
Good morning, I'm Molly Hendrickson.
And I'm Nicole Brady. Here's the latest from Denver 7. This morning, investigators are trying to find out what exactly happened to a 7-year-old boy found dead in a Denver storage unit. Police say the body of Caden McWilliams was found 2 days after Christmas, but they believe he may have been dead since May. On Wednesday, Caden's mother turned herself into police. 43-year-old Alicia Pankey is being held for investigation of child abuse resulting in death. Caden was once a student at Ellis Elementary School in southeast Denver. The school's principal says he was the sweetest boy and a model student.
Today, state lawmakers returned to Capitol Hill to start the 2019 Colorado legislative session. Democrats will control both chambers for the first time in 6 years. Denver 7's Micah Smith shows us some of their priorities for 2019.
I asked Senate President-designate Leroy Garcia what we can expect this legislative session, and he says top priorities will be very similar to last session, with issues including tackling the opioid crisis and trying to be more proactive and less reactive to the issue, looking at oil and gas rules, funding education, which Garcia says is a top priority, funding transportation improvements after voters turned down 2 ballot measures, and looking for health care solutions.
We know that day in and day out that this is affecting families. We're having more and more people use an ER or 911 service as a primary means for health care. That's just too expensive. We need to be able to provide them with the opportunities to be able to receive health care in a far more accessible and at cheaper modalities.
Garcia says everyone can expect a change in culture in the Senate this session, but he is open to working with his colleagues across the aisle. And Colorado state lawmakers formally meet from the beginning of January to mid-May. Reporting from the Capitol, Micah Smith, Denver 7.
And one of the biggest issues that may be introduced in the state legislature is oil and gas regulations. The group behind the failed Proposition 112 is pushing for a moratorium on new oil and gas developments until the state can perform a health assessment.
The partial federal government shutdown is now entering its 3rd week. This morning, President Trump will meet with Nancy Pelosi in the first face-to-face meeting as President and Speaker of the House. The newly Democratic-controlled House approved 2 bills yesterday that would effectively end the shutdown, but they have little hope of passing in the Senate. The bills would fund government agencies currently shut down, while still not including any money for a border wall. Colorado Senator Cory Gardner says he would vote yes on the bills to get the government back open.
We should fund the government, we should fund border security, but I don't think we should shut down the government as we pursue border security. Let's do both. I think there's bipartisan support to do both. Just a few months ago, Republicans and Democrats came together for $25 billion in funding for border security. I don't know why there's support for less than 1/5 of that today, when just a few months ago we supported much, much more.
That $25 billion figure was a short-lived offer from Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, who proposed the funding a year ago in exchange for a pathway to citizenship for the Dreamers. That deal fell apart during the shutdown in January 2018. We've already seen the impact of a partial government shutdown at our national parks, and if it continues much longer, it could have a big impact on tax season. Right now, only about 1/8 of the agency's workforce is still on the job. During a shutdown, the IRS doesn't perform audits, pay tax refunds, or help taxpayers fill out their returns. And this tax season was already going to be a difficult one for the IRS because of the changes to the tax code that were signed into law last year.
The latest job report smashes expectations, showing a strong labor market amid turmoil on Wall Street. The Labor Department says 312,000 jobs were added in December. Despite that, unemployment rose just a little to 3.9%. That's because more people entered the job market. Economists predict growth will slow in the U.S. in 2019 as the effects of tax cuts wear off. And Colorado is apparently a great place to find a job, according to a new analysis from Wallet Hub. The company analyzed the strength of the job market in 180 U.S. cities. Colorado Springs ranked 5th. Denver wasn't far behind at 13th. Aurora came in at 48th. Scottsdale, Arizona topped that list.
2 traffic alerts that could impact your weekend plans. First, tonight starting at 10, I-70 will shut down in both directions as part of the Central 70 project. This closure will go between Brighton and Colorado Boulevards. CDOT is testing how much weight it can place on the viaduct to eventually move forward with plans to demolish it. I-70 should be back open by 6 tomorrow morning. And then on Sunday, part of the I-25 frontage road between Highway 402 and Loveland and Johnson's Corner will be closed. This is part of the I-25 North Express Lanes project. Right now, Highway 402 goes under I-25, but it will go over the interstate once the project is complete.
A new housing report is out this morning from RE/MAX, and it shows 2018 was a big year for home sales. This isn't very good news for buyers, but 2018 marked a record high home sales price. The average home sold for $473,000 in our state. The report found sellers still have the power too. If you are selling your home, you have an upper hand against people trying to buy a home since the demand is still so high.
Well, we all remember that major hailstorm that caused over $1 billion in damage across the metro in 2017. Now, a year and a half later, some people are still waiting on repairs. Homeowners of the Garrison Village condominium complex in Wheat Ridge say they're still waiting for their siding to be replaced. You can see broken glass and shredded tarps. Now the HOA is suing Maxim Indemnity Company. The legal debate is over how much siding to replace and the cost.
We have people over for Christmas and Thanksgiving and New Year's, and they're like, this isn't fixed yet. It's been, almost 2 years.
And the saga isn't over anytime soon. This heads to trial in March of 2020, where a jury may have to decide.
Today, the Broncos are moving right along in their search for a replacement for Coach Vance Joseph. Steelers offensive line coach and former Titans head coach Mike Munchak is in the hot seat today. Broncos insider Troy Rank says Munchak has a strong resume and checks off plenty of the boxes the Broncos need in a coach. Tomorrow, the Broncos will interview Patriots defensive coordinator Brian Flores. And then on Monday, Bears defensive coordinator Vic Fangio will be interviewed. The Broncos have already interviewed former Colts coach Chuck Pagano and LA Rams quarterback coach Zach Taylor. At the moment, there is no timeline on when the Broncos could make a decision on who will lead the team next.
Well, there are so many beautiful trips you can take in Colorado, and starting today for the 3rd season in a row, you have another option to get up to the Winter Park Ski Resort. It's Amtrak Ski Train, and Denver 7's Eric Lufer takes us inside.
I'm Eric Lufer. The Winter Park Ski Train taking off for the season. It's going to run till March 31st. 300 or so people are on this train as it leaves Union Station out of Denver to the front doorstep of Winter Park Resort. A great partnership between Amtrak and Winter Park. 3rd year in a row for this. Tickets $29 each way for adults, half off for kids with an adult ticket purchase. And the train leaves 7 o'clock sharp on Saturdays and Sundays out of Denver's Union Station, and the first 2 Fridays of each month. A great tradition, something you just don't see anywhere else. I'm Eric Lufer, Denver 7.
Thanks, Eric. Well, in a tradition about as Colorado as it gets, Loveland has released its design for its Valentine's Day card and cachet. This is a look at the message and design picked for this year. It's part of a 70-year tradition. Each year, more than 130,000 Valentines are mailed to Loveland to get a special stamp on the envelope before they're remailed out. It's the largest Valentine remailing program of its kind in the country. It started back in 1947.
Take a look at this. It's a new perspective of the recent winter weather we've had in Colorado. NASA took a picture from space showing the western part of the United States after that storm rolled through. You can see snow stretching from the northwest through Colorado. Lucky for us, if you don't like snow, we shouldn't be getting much today.
And for more on that, here's Lisa Hidalgo.
Yeah, nope, just sunshine here in Denver today, but the mountains will pick up more snow this weekend. Now, statewide, we're at 95% of normal when it comes to snowpack. And again, more for the high country on Sunday, starting Saturday night into Sunday. Beautiful, though, from Loveland ski area this morning. It's going to be a gorgeous start to the day. We're going to see temperatures in the mountains in the 30s. Down across the plains, even warmer than yesterday. Upper 50s to near 60 this afternoon between about 2 and 3 o'clock. So it's going to be a nice one, well above where we were when we started the week off. In fact, about 40 degrees warmer than Monday. Upper 50s both today and tomorrow. The difference tomorrow is that we aren't going to see as much sunshine. We'll get an increase in cloud cover on Saturday, and then on Sunday, mountain snow. Here in town, there is a slight chance with this front rolling through that late Sunday into early Monday overnight, we could see a few light snow showers, but overall, it's pretty mild, you guys. For January to be this warm, not that normal for us here in town.
Well, it would be a good weekend to take down the Christmas lights because it's so nice, but you might want to hold off for another couple of weeks.
Yeah, you may or may not know this, but Colorado tradition finds you should keep your lights up through the National Western Stock Show at the end of January. Now, we found an article from 1955 in the Steamboat Pilot that cites then a 12-year-old practice of keeping the lights on at the Denver City and County building so stock show visitors could take in the festive display.
And if you haven't seen enough Christmas lights, you have one more weekend to check out Zoo Lights. This is the final weekend for the holiday display.
Denver 7 is a proud sponsor, so we want to thank everyone who has made it out to the Zoo Lights so far this year. There are plenty of tickets still available for all time slots tonight through Sunday, so check it out with the kids if you haven't done so yet. It's very, very beautiful.
And a nice warm night for it. This has been your Denver 7 on-demand update. Thanks for watching.
Check back here later today for another update and download the free Denver 7 app for breaking news and alerts. Have a great weekend.